Now then, echo, 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 echo. Well, thank you so much for coming for the opening of what effectively is the Glencore Agricultural Agri-Bulks facility here in Teesport. My name is Frans Collier, I'm the CEO with Teesport. Thank you so much for coming today in incredible numbers, socially distant if you like. I'm going to say a few words. I actually want to talk about the reason why we're here today. Because the reason why we're here today is actually around a story which tells you something about the Tees Valley, it tells you something about the people that live and work in the Tees Valley, it tells you something about the business that we are, it tells you something about Teesport. My father once said to me, to know who you are and to know where you are, you need to know where you're coming from. And I joined this business 13 years ago, and I could see for what it was. It was very tired, and it was very heavily dependent upon very traditional major commodities. The things that made Teesside once one of the biggest ports in the United Kingdom: oil, steel and chemicals. And the predecessor to my predecessor, the CEO in 2003, a guy by the name of Graham Roberts, he was actually very visionary, and he realized that whilst at the time we were one of the country's largest ports, we were living on borrowed time because the world around us was changing. And he said, to be reliant upon steel and oil and chemicals is great, but somewhere down the line there's going to be a wobble. And this wobble is going to change the outlook and the makeup of what you are today. And unless you change, and you're prepared to change, you've got a vision on how you're going to change, you will go along with those commodities that are going to disappear. You'll cease to exist. So Graham started on a strategy of diversification, which was actually one of the reasons why I joined in 2008, because my background being container logistics, as most of you will know. And Graham wasn't wrong, because in 2015, as all of you will be aware, disaster struck the Tees Valley as the steelworks, after more than 150 years of a very proud heritage of steel making, the steel that once sort of made the world, sits in the Sydney Harbour Bridge, sits in the London Tube system, sits everywhere, right? Ceased, it stopped. And overnight, this business, this river, this area, lost one of its major component parts of what it was. And it was never ever going to come back. What it meant to us is that we lost 30% of our earnings overnight. A third of our business was gone, and it was never ever going to get back. And at the time, we employed 1,250 people. But because Graham and the management team around him had the vision to start that process of diversification, actually, we rose almost sort of symbolically from our own ashes, like a phoenix, into something that is now far larger in 2020 than it was in 2015. I never for once thought, when I was thinking about the phoenix as this gracious bird rising out of its own ashes, I was actually looking at you, James, but that's a slightly different story. So here we are in 2020, and whilst we employed 1,250 people in 2015, before the steelworks closed, today we employed 1,280 people. We now employ more people than we ever did before in the Tees Valley, by having that transformation that's so very visible around us today. So rather than being very heavily reliant upon what we were, we're now in charge of our own destiny. And that tells you something about who we are, where this business is going, and where the Tees Valley is going. Because all of you, or most of you, will know the phenomenal transformation that is starting to take place in combination with the work that's been done by the Combined Authority and ourselves and Teesworks, the announcement that came out last week, in terms of the very, very exciting plans and strategy that is actually going to continue this transformation in terms of where we are today. However, let's go back to the exam question why we're here today. We're here today to celebrate a relationship of two very like-minded businesses. Businesses that work in complete harmony, symbiosis and respect. And actually, through what I will say was a negotiation on either end of the table, sometimes with almost daggers drawn, But it got us to a position because we both realized there was a far bigger sum that we could be part of together than go with it alone. And that actually has allowed for that phenomenal facility to be built and the investment to be made by both PD Ports and the shareholder Brookfield. And for obviously you guys to keep growing your business in line with ours. So James, I'm going to hand over to you, and I will say it later on, thank you so much because you are a partner of choice. Thank you.
Thank you. Welcome. Good morning, everybody. It's a real pleasure to be here on Teesside. I always come back. I always like coming back. I find the people, as Franz rightly says, most welcoming. And yes, I'm very pleased to be back again on Teesside. In fact, my great-grandfather worked for Dorman and Long in Grangetown and lived in Grangetown, so it's like homecoming for me. Thanks for the opportunity to say a few words. Very gracious in your... and I'd like to acknowledge everybody that's here today. I'm sorry that COVID-19 has not allowed us to celebrate this occasion like we originally planned when we were having the discussions about building the facility. But I'd like to welcome you all and see this marvellous construction which has been designed and built by the guys here. It's not only an important milestone for the PD Ports business, it's also an important milestone for the Glencore business. Our business in the UK was a bit like your business. It was getting tired and it was becoming a one-trick pony. So we had to sit down and radically think about how we revitalised our business, and that planning and strategy led us to Teesside and an opportunity that came along in late 2016. So I'd like to say a few words about who we are and what we do. Glencore Agriculture is a global leader in sourcing, handling, processing and marketing of agricultural commodities and products. Our business covers the whole supply chain from the farm gate to the consumer. We source commodities such as grains, oilseeds, pulses, rice, sugar, cotton from producers all around the world. Storage facilities and processing plants, transport assets. We process, manage the supply chain of these commodities and supply the products to our customers around the world. And you'll see the supply chain that this building is becoming part of very shortly. Just to give you an idea of the size and scale of our business, we operate in more than 35 countries around the world, and we have a workforce of approximately 16,000 people in the ag business. We own over 250 assets worldwide, and we charter over 180 ocean-going vessels at any one time. And we market 80 million tonnes of agricultural commodities and products each year. That sounds very grand. But what do we do in the UK? In the UK, we're headquartered out of Oxfordshire, and we operate the same model as our parent company. We originate from farmers in the UK. We originate over 1.5 million tonnes of grains and oilseeds, and ag products per year, and we supply those products to the domestic market, be it food or feed supply chain, i.e. milling wheat for flour, oats for cereals, oilseeds for vegetable oil. We import approximately 1 million tonnes of agricultural feed products subject to the seasonal supply and demands. and we export about 500,000 to 1 million tonnes of UK products. We're a small, efficient team, and we have big ideas to grow our business to become one of the leading companies in our field, both in terms of supply, service and product. Why Teesport and why PD Ports? As I mentioned earlier, when I was looking at strategizing of how we were going to reinvent the UK business, I looked at a map. I'm old-fashioned. I don't look at mobile phones or I was brought up to look at maps, and I looked at a map, and knowing my heritage from the northeast, I knew that there was a deep water port terminal on Teesside. Tees Dock is a fantastic port. It's got all year round access, including day-night navigation, over 700 metres of berthing capacity, able to cater for a wide range of vessels, especially the ones that we use. And given the 14.5 metre draft available in the dock, we can bring our Panamax size vessels to Teesport, and we regularly do now. Those Panamax vessels are carrying approximately 50 to 60,000 tonnes of product. The port is served by an excellent road network, allowing seamless access to the key demand areas for the animal feed ingredients in Yorkshire, Humberside, the northwest of England and southwest Scotland. The port has a discharge capacity and equipment to handle an ever-increasing volume of dry cargo, and the investment that the management and staff, etc., of PD Ports are putting into the facility and have done over the last 3 years is allowing that volume to grow, and I wouldn't be surprised to see handle 1.5 million tonnes of bulk ag products this year. The skilled labour force have proved their adaptability in moving from steel products to a wide variety of bulk agri products. This area had a history of steel manufacturing, and we've been able to repurpose some of the infrastructure and give the area new life with a focus on agriculture. I have to commend the PD Ports senior management for the work that they've done alongside ourselves and other key customers in delivering a remarkable change for PD Ports, the Tees Valley and the Tees Dock itself. It's a real change, a future for the port and the region as a whole. The Tees Bulks Terminal. What does this new facility mean for Glencore Agriculture? You know, as part of our excellent relationship with PD Ports, we've been able to assist in this project. As mentioned, we've worked with them in the development, and this is our third year, full year, of being active in the port, having signed our first contract back in late 2016. We're importing protein meals and grain to supply the UK market. We are a primary food supplier. We have worked tirelessly through COVID-19, and our volumes have not met any roadblocks. That's down to the credibility and workforce that we've got here at PD in Teesport. This facility will also provide an option for us to export domestic cereals as well as import. The majority of the imported products that we bring to PD Ports are sourced through our own supply chains, either via the crushing industry in Argentina or through our origination capability in the Ukraine. We have a wide network, and we can use that network to service this facility and the customers behind this facility. This new facility is going to add efficiency, reliability, flexibility and a level of service to to make sure our customers will remain our customers. We'll be able to manage the quality and the timing of deliveries to make us a customer of choice with the users of our products. We have plans to expand the volume through the port and have invested with that in mind. Increased storage capacity will mean additional products can be added to our current portfolio in the coming months. And we will also look to invest in other opportunities with PD that complement our operations. In summary, it's a very exciting opportunity. Franz, thank you for the last 3 years, and I'm looking forward to the future years in developing the ag facility here at Teesport. Thank you.
Thank you, James, for more reason than one. As I was listening to you, I was sort of contemplating when you sort of outlined all our commercial capabilities and the strength of the port. Why would I need a commercial team? I've got you. Sorry, Michael, but we'll pick it up later on.
I'm a good listener.
What I would like to do, I would just like to show a quick film outlining the development of the facility, and then we'll go forward with the formalities. So, Lily, if you could hit it. Woohoo! Righto. As we're now going to commence the formalities around the official opening of the bay, I would like to hand over to Simon Clark MP, who will be on the screen.
Thank you very much, Franz, for the invitation to open Teesport's new international bulk terminal. Although this is a virtual ceremony, I look forward to visiting the site in person to fully appreciate the scale of the new operations. The opening of the new Teesport bulk terminal marks an important milestone in the continued revival of the Tees Valley following the closure of the SSI Steelworks in 2015. Steel has long been and remains an important part of Teesside's heritage and our shared identity, known around the world. But we have a myriad of strengths and assets as well as steel that we want to be recognised for. The River Tees continues to be one of our region's, the North's and the UK's greatest assets. Indeed, it's the bedrock upon which we built Teesside's industrial import and export power, and positions Teesport as the UK's largest port for outward tonnage. As the owner and operator, PD Ports continues to deliver for the region and the wider northern economy, creating strong partnerships to attract new investment, which has seen well over £1 billion of direct and indirect investment to the Tees Valley in the last 10 years. I am proud that Teesport is a key part of the UK's northern gateway for global shipping, serving markets from Belgium and France to Scandinavia, Russia and as far away as Japan. At this crucial time, PD Port's £9.2 million investment in redeveloping Teesport's former steel export terminal delivers a state-of-the-art facility to increase trade and create new jobs, supporting post-COVID economic recovery as well as wider economic growth over the longer term. I'm delighted that this latest investment has created 27 direct new jobs in our region, with a further 17 new jobs expected next year and many more in the supply chain. This investment builds on the government's own multi-million pound investment to regenerate the Tees Valley and our ongoing commitment to the levelling up agenda. Given its operations and location, Teesport is an important industrial asset in the development of the South Tees Development Corporation, or Teesworks site, as it's now known following Mayor Ben Houchen's announcement last week. When fully developed, Teesworks has the potential to see 20,000 jobs created and add an additional £1 billion a year to the local economy. And as the UK's largest industrial zone, a strong export-facing transport infrastructure will be crucial to capitalising on those ambitions. My colleagues and I in central government have been pleased to support this work and will continue to do so in this next phase of economic renaissance. With the local economy already worth over £13 billion, a fast-growing business base, and one of the few places in the UK with a trade surplus, the Tees Valley is quickly becoming the powertrain of the Northern Powerhouse. And indeed, it's great to see that on the day that Teesport's bulk terminal is officially opened, a major customer, Glencore, who have backed the investment made by PD Ports, announces it is now fully operational from the facility as well. This investment is fantastic news and demonstrates the resilience of our economy and continued international confidence in the UK. This is critical at a time when we are championing a global Britain. Teesside is ushering in a new era of international investment, business growth and economic renewal, coalescing around a clean growth agenda. Teesport is a key player in a highly integrated industrial ecosystem, supporting existing strengths in chemical and process industries and growth opportunities in logistics and digital too. It's a really exciting time to be a Teessider, and I'm delighted to see companies like PD Ports contributing to the economic revitalisation of our region. Thank you.
Brilliant. So, the moment we've all been waiting for. James, what I would like to do, although it says that I need to unveil the plaque, but actually you've paid for it, so, well, sort of. I would like you to do the honours on the unveiling of the plaque, if you don't mind. Don't fall over. Oh, sorry. Socially distance. Oh, I'll go on the other side. Sorry. Brilliant. Thanks, James.
Congratulations. Just before we finish, I've got a small gift. I know there's a Dutchman here in the UK, and having worked for Glencore in the Netherlands for 5 years, it would be wrong not to celebrate this event without a gift for my Dutch friend. So I'd like to present you, Frans, with this map from the early Dutch explorers. You're working for a global business. We are a global business, so I thought it would be fitting to give you a map of the world from the first Dutch explorers. Even Australia is called
New Holland.
New Holland.
Thank you, James.
Thank you.
Thank you. Well, thank you, James. Thank you ever so much. I'm really humbled by this. This is absolutely fantastic. I like the reference to Australia. It's a long-standing dispute between myself and Mr. Pearson over there, who always claims that British explorers made it to Australia before the Dutch did. But anyway, there you go, Mark. What I would like to do, and then we'll close out proceedings. I'll just put this here, and don't let it fall over, as I might do. Now, I feel a bit cheeky actually, because I've got a gift for you, because unfortunately it's only half as beautiful, I suppose, as the one that you gave me, but that tells you something for dealing with stevedores, I suppose. But can I give you this memorandum of remembrance in terms of the opening of the shed? Okay, once again, thanks, James. Final few words from me, and then we'll bring this to a close. It's really easy for me as the Chief Exec to stand here today and talk about the success that the business has achieved over the last couple of years and sort of the way we transformed the business. But actually, I wasn't one who put the shed together. Right? That's been done by the fantastic work done by the engineering team. I'm actually also not the one that actually made the commercial success of Glencore at Teesport the success that it is, because that goes down to the operational guys, to Colin, to Peter, Max, the guys who are driving these shoveling machines, who drive the trucks, who operate the cranes. Actually, the rebirth of Teesport in a different disguise as it currently is today is actually down to them. It's never about us. And with herewith, I really want to thank all our colleagues at PD Ports for making the Glencore business the success that it is. Thank you very much. Thank you.